We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, phi thứ pháp hội cấp nhật thiết chúng sanh. Thịnh chiến diệu phạm luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoáng tư ly khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đàn Thổ, Sư Chế Đô Ye Ở La Hơ Đi, Sam Miao San Phu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tạc Đạc Tha Tô Dạ Đà Dạ A La Ha Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Tòa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom and thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian万劫难遭遇，我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Sutra, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good knowing advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、诸者、大士、师父、上人、各位出家人、各位善知识、弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa trí giả đại sư Thượng Thiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức cả nhà đạo Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 16th of November 2024. We're here at Way Mountain to continue discussing the Vimalakirti Sutra. We are in a section that describes the 32,000 bodhisattvas in attendance in chapter 1. 149, slide number. They proclaim the Dharma without fear, like a lion's roar, and their speeches resounded like thunder, without limits and beyond all limits.
言法无畏，由狮子吼，其所讲说，乃如雷震，有无量，已过量。
Okay. 150, commentary slide. They proclaim the Dharma without fear, like a lion's roar. Okay, this is per the culture of old. They say that birds and animals are afraid when the lions roared. And not only just the birds and animals, but in particular elephants, the beasts, when a big animal lose control of their excrements. I don't know what that means. And flying creatures would fall. They forget to fly. This is fascinating. I never have this kind of effect on others. So it tells you it's kind of fascinating that when the lions roared, it has a kind of effect on the rest of the beasts. So the same thing, when the bodhisattvas proclaim the Dharma, it's without fear and like the lions roar. So it probably doesn't apply to us. It only applies to the bad elements. Okay? And to me, they are fearful because why? Because when you do bad things, when you do evil things, your Buddha nature knows it. You know it yourself. You're not supposed to do that. So that's why inside of you, there's this fear of being discovered. Anyone ever did anything naughty before? I speak from experience. When I did something naughty, I just like, oh, I hope no one finds out. So right there is fear. Baked in. See, even Jesse, oh, that's me. Okay, so naughty boy. So that's what happens. That's what happens. This is why the bodhisattvas, when they speak Dharma, and the demons and the ghosts and the naughty people, they listen to it and all of a sudden they're scared. Okay, this is fear that wells up inside of them. Not just when the bodhisattvas speak Dharma, and also when these demons and these bad people, when they see a bodhisattva or someone of that stature, they become fearful and their guards are up. Anyone met anyone like that? Yeah? You approach them, they're always like this. It always made me wonder, why do you need to raise your arms like that? It's just not a boxing match. We're not in a boxing ring. Why do you have to put your guards up? Any met anyone like that? Most people I met are like that. No? You guess so? You don't remember? You didn't pay attention? Okay? And these people, it's funny because it seems like they're always on the defensive. They're so afraid that you know something that you're not supposed to know. Okay? And that's living in fear, folks. That's why when the lion roars, you are fearful already. It simply amplified. The roaring amplifies your fears, that's all. It's nothing new. Does it make sense now? Because to me, when you first read it, on the surface, it doesn't make sense. Why would hearing a roar of a lion make the beasts fearful? Because they are afraid already. Agree? The beasts, the animals are afraid for their lives 24 hours a day. Isn't that right? This is the difference between civilization versus living in the wild. Living in the wild, you never know. Everyone is preying on you. Okay? Here in society, there are rules. Yes, we're being preyed on, but there are rules. Okay? Okay, let's not go into politics. Never mind. Okay. And so the bodhisattvas expound the Dharma because they are fearless against demons. But according to Master Tutor here, the great sage, he says, when bodhisattvas expound the Dharma, they cause the demons to abandon attachments to views, to their arrogant minds, and these attachments to views to be extinguished. Okay? So bodhisattvas have that kind of power over the in-beings. Okay? Because the yin beings have been observing the bodhisattvas for a long time, okay, and that's why they're scared of them. They get to know them over time. Okay, 151. Their speeches resounded like thunder. Thunder is, according to Master Sutra, extensive knowledge, and it has a way of waking up hibernating creatures. Okay, what does it mean? It means that in humans' term, that they know a lot more than we realize, or they know a lot more than they're letting out. Okay? Only because they're not trying to impress us with their knowledge. They only speak about things that we can absorb, no more. They will not waste that time and energy. Okay? So the extensive knowledge means that they're so adaptable. Okay? Meaning that, listen, boys and girls, you need to read and listen more. If you want to help and be effective as bodhisattvas, you need to have extensive knowledge. Does it help? Extensive knowledge comes about because they read a lot, they studied a lot. It's ongoing. They're constantly learning and studying more. All right? They never say, I study enough. No such a thing. And wake up hibernating creatures, meaning that hibernating creatures like you are stupefied. You hibernate. You have no awareness of what's going on around you. Met such people? Huh? Lots of people are like that. They're so full of themselves. Okay? They only primarily concerned with them feeling what they want, and they ignore everything else, and nothing else matters but me. Okay? And that's why they walk around as if like an hibernating creature, where they lack awareness of the environment. For some, they struggle so much internally. They have problems dealing with all the data that comes through to them through the 5-6 sense organs. That's why they're overwhelmed already. And that describes 21st century people. We're more and more overwhelmed by externals. Now it's internet, the phone, thank you, tea, people, and so forth. Okay? So many distractions, and actually now with AI, we even have more to worry about, not less. Because with AI, now we have to process more. We can process even more than before. Okay? So anyway, so the hibernating creatures is so for these people who lack awareness, can we say, can we have a talk? Will they pay attention to you? No! See that? I rest my case. You have been sleepy, ate a full lunch, and having a good time, connecting with each other, and then come here feeling pleasant, say, oh, I am feeling good. And so sometimes you have to shake them. This is what the thunder is about. To speak Dharma, the function of speaking Dharma is to wake beings up from their stupor, from their delusions, from their hibernating. Okay? Hibernating is comfort. It's oblivious, being oblivious to everything else around you. Okay? And that's why you need the thunder, you need the shock. It's kind of interesting. I saw a piece recently about of all the people. You guessed it, the Japanese. I'm not always interested talking about politics, I also have cultural interests as well. Oh my? What do you mean, oh my? I resemble that. And so, Japan is a land of a lot of calamities, natural disasters. And they have earthquakes, they have tsunamis, they have all sorts of issues, okay? So, but it's fascinating culture because they stress politeness, right? They stress civility and so forth. But so what happened is that in the recent recent history, they have a lot of natural disasters, like tsunami that in 2011, and they wipe out the entire towns. And so now they're getting better and better with warning systems where they would detect the earthquake and tsunamis being forming, so they would give the alerts sooner to their residents. And what they found out is something interesting. They said that the last message, warning message about when there was a tsunami, there's a voice of a woman, believe it or not. You think it's a man. No, it's a woman, Japanese woman, who was screaming at them. It was very unusual because Japanese women are like, hi. No? More so than Korean women. Korean women actually sometimes yell at their husband, right, Jumi? Ne? No, she's right there. Yeah, okay. So Korean women, they actually talk to their spouses very forcefully. I noticed, Jumi, that either that or the way they look at you, and you're in trouble. But what's interesting is that I listened to that Japanese woman barking orders, say, get out of the house. Go up the hill and follow the sign that says so and so and so. This is place for tsunami. Because tsunami, you go to a different place, go high elevation, right? And then, or if there's an earthquake, you go to a place where there's something over you to protect you from being crushed. Okay, so it tells you the woman is kind of barking orders, get out and go. And people made comment. I said, how come that this is so contrary to our Japanese culture? The listeners complained. I said, what happened to our culture? The women, Japanese women are supposed to be, hi. Okay? But no, this woman's barking orders. And so a scientist came up. He says, we did a study, and we realized that our people have something called normalcy bias. Normalcy, not malice. You, Filipino woman. Huh? Normalcy bias. What does it mean? What does it tell you? It's fascinating people's psychology to me. Yes, sir. What does it mean to you, sir? 6.
Well, normalcy bias could pertain to acts of emergency notifications. You're so commonplace to hear, like, for instance, here in California, with the Amber Alerts, we get overdosed with them, and so
yes,
they don't
all the time. My phone rings so often during the week.
It doesn't make the impression that it should. That is for you to pay attention and follow those directions.
Yeah, so normalcy bias refers to the fact that this is how the Japanese react to it. They said, oh, it's no big deal. You still have time. It's what's the hurry? What's the rush? We can eventually get to the shelter or go to higher grounds. It's no hurry. Okay? no need to no need to panic. But actually, when you hear the alarm, the alert from a tsunami, that's pretty pressing because you're talking about minutes, and then you lose your life, you lose everything. Okay, and so the Japanese scientists, they discovered that the average Japanese person has this normalcy bias where they said, okay, so yes, there's some danger here, but we still have time because if we can still make it. So they treat it as something that lacks urgency, so that's why the normalcy bias. Isn't that interesting? And it's not just them, us too, right? I have the same exact thing, the same bias. I say, well, what's the big deal? Mommy will take care of it. Yes, one.
Maybe I'm stretching too much, but during World War II, the U.S. bombed so much Japan before we dropped atomic bombs.
Right.
They didn't respond right away. They didn't give up right away. Maybe they thought like that normalcy bias, like, oh, what's a big deal? We have a little more time. We don't have to surrender right now.
Yeah.
Just...
Yeah. So they're preparing the third bomb. Never mind. It's not funny, I know. It's a really tragic thing to do to each other. But anyway, so this bias here is normalcy because they take everything as something normal. The warning is just a lack of sense of urgency. Okay, and so they found out that the only way sort of waking them up is sort of like bark orders at them, especially from a woman. From a man, it's also normalcy bias because that's how men talk to us over there. They bark orders. In Korea too, right? Vietnam. Men don't bark orders at Vietnam women. Okay, but apparently in that culture, the way to draw attention is have a woman bark orders at you. To me, it's kind of interesting. Yes, sir. Now you interested in going to Japan?
Oh, been there. Been to Nagasaki, can tell you.
Nagasaki?
Yeah.
When they dropped the bomb?
20 years after.
20 years after.
It was the most harrowing, horrific day of my life to see the destruction and the remains.
20 years after, there's still a lot of destructions?
But the first thing I noticed was in Nagasaki, it was a rebuilt city by then, but no trees. Absolutely no trees. Anything that could incinerate was incinerated.
It's like El Monte here, no trees.
Yeah.
Have you been to El Monte, sir? I'm shocked. Anyway, sorry.
Well, anyway, just as an anecdote, there was a Russian pilot that escaped Soviet Russia before it fell, and his jet ran real low on fuel, and as he was I think he was landing in Germany maybe, and a voice came on he had never heard before that said, pilot, you're about to run out of fuel, and it was a woman, and it startled him, so that basically that would overcome any kind of bias we'd have. And
yeah, it's nothing like having a woman yell at us. I love it. It's not just Japanese culture. I love it when women yell at me because they care. No? Never mind. Okay, so it's kind of interesting. So it's the same thing here. Sometimes, sometimes the bodhisattvas quite often have to use thunder when speak Dharma, and that has the effect of the thunder into living beings to wake them up. That's the point here. Okay? And then thunder precedes rain, and the rain then has a nurturing effect. So they wake them up, boom, and then it rains, And then after being woken up, then they get the good stuff. Okay, so there's always like the stick and the carrot and the stick kind of thing. You know, you beat them up and then you give them a carrot. Jesse. Okay, never mind. Okay, without limits. Okay. This refers to, according to Master Chucha, they have limitless supernatural powers, spiritual powers, and their wisdom are without limits, meaning that it goes beyond our imagination. Okay, imagination of the general expectations, and the bodhisattvas. You can't see it, but they emit radiant lights while speaking Dharma. Okay? When they speak Dharmas, bodhisattvas really emit light. All right? And you see any light? See? No light. So we have to turn on more lights when I speak Dharma. Okay? When you're desperate, you try anything. Okay, so when they speak Dharma, actually they emit light. Okay, and that light there goes throughout the 10 directions, and they have a way of transforming living beings, turn them from evil towards good, from deviant towards proper. Okay? Beyond all limits, I didn't know this, and this is why it's always fun to learn from these great sages. Master Chucha, his insight is that beyond limits here, 以过量, okay, actually he says it's beyond the supernatural powers, the spiritual powers, and even the wisdom of the 10G bodhisattvas. So it's a different world, folks. Okay, it's like without limits here refers to beyond your imagination. Even your own imagination, you can't even reach that, and even the imaginations of the great bodhisattvas. Isn't that cool? It's a fascinating world. Okay? All right, 153. Like captains at sea, they have amassed troves of Dharma treasures.
集众法宝如海导师。
Okay, this is culturally speaking. Hey, Daniel, what's up, man? Did you have lunch? Never mind. Captains at sea. I don't know about our cultures here in the 21st century. I don't see, but back then in India, in the Indian culture, you go to the sea to seek treasures. Anyone? Is it still the case nowadays or no? He's brown, but he's not Indian, so we can't ask him. Okay? So apparently the concept here, captain at sea, meaning that these people would sail out into the great ocean, and that's how they look for great treasures and riches. Okay? And so what does it mean that back then in the Indian culture, you have to take great risk. You have to risk your life. And you take a boat that a kind of tiny, puny boat, that when you run into a bad storm, you say sayonara to your wife who likes to bark orders at you. And so they have to risk their lives in order to amass treasures. Okay, it's kind of interesting when you think about it. Okay, it applies to all times now. Even nowadays, we need to put a lot of things at risk in order to become rich, become famous, become successful. Big success comes at great perils to our lives, to our well-being. Okay, and so Captain of the Sea here should remind you that it's dangerous. Okay, they will explain that later from a different perspective. But to me, it's interesting that is risk-seeking. They're not scared. They're not timid like normal people, okay, who are low to a sense of complacency when they are safe. But no, because they took great risk, put their lives at risk. That's why they had amassed troves of treasures of the Dharma. Okay? And also here, the Master Teacher also says, Captain of Seas here also refers to the fact they guide a lot of people in the boats. Okay, so that's why they help others. That's what is meant by meritorious deeds. Okay, so they did a great meritorious deeds, and by doing those, they amass troves of Dharma treasures. And so, interesting concept here is that you need to put a lot of things at risk in order for you to amass treasures. Same thing like the Bodhisattvas, they need to put themselves on the line. They're willing to risk everything in order to accrue their treasures in the Dharma. You don't want to play it safe, if you will. Okay? That's what it takes. You want to be safe? Be Catholic. Agree, sir? See, he agrees. Next. Like captains at sea, says here, captain guiding people into ocean to collect treasure. So there's this helping others improve their lots as a captains at sea. Okay, and so when bodhisattvas enter ocean of birth and death, okay, it's a very dangerous thing. By the way, you can get lost and become Catholic. Today, for some reason, I feel good about Catholics and Christians. And so bodhisattvas, including bodhisattvas, when you enter the ocean of birth and death, it's very, very dangerous because we really lose control. Okay? But it's only by you put your life on the line that you're able to amass treasures of the Dharma. Okay? And they accrue merits and benefits from helping others, from transforming others. Okay? This is the difference between us and a bodhisattva. For us, we just say, happy to say, I'm able to help you. The bodhisattva standards are higher. I'm able to transform you, to go from evil to good, from deviant to proper. transforming. Okay? And when you do that, you benefit a lot. This is why in our world, unlike the Christians and Catholics who specialize in doing charity, okay, we are more focused on transformation. Does it make sense? Transforming others is where the real work is, and that's where the real treasures are that you can accrue. All right? Next, 156. They thoroughly understood the profound and wondrous principles of all dharmas.
了达诸法深妙之意。
Okay, 157. They thoroughly understood. So it refers to that the inner wisdom is enhanced and reaches a state of perfect understanding. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that they understand all the way, they penetrate all the way to the real meaning, the real principles. Okay, it's not superficial at all. It's not like they're not talking about superficially, quantitatively, but qualitatively you penetrate to the depth of the knowledge, okay, of the process. Okay, all dharmas refers to all phenomena of the 10 realms, meaning that these bodhisattvas, these mahasattvas actually are very interested in learning about all the dharmas. So there's this hunger of learning, this thirst of knowledge. Okay, thirst for knowledge. And what kind of, in particular, when it sounds casual, like they want to learn everything and worldly things, actually, when they look at worldly things, they understand the profound and wondrous principles behind those phenomena. Okay, so you see, bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, they engage intimately in worldly affairs because that's how they increase their profound wisdom. The point I want to stress to you here is that there is this desire to learn and penetrate. Okay, there's no sense of complacency here, ever. Okay, they don't say, I know enough, I'm the expert in the field now. No one can be as good as I am right now. I'm number one. There's no such a mindset. They don't even think they're number one. This drive to understand all phenomena of the 10 directions, and the principles behind all those phenomena. Okay, so if you will, they have this innate curiosity, if you will. They say, why is that? Why do you do that? Okay, why do you sit in full lotus? Why do you recite Buddha's name? Why don't you like me? They want to know everything. They're very curious. Okay? They never think they are number one. You got that, Daniel? No, it's not nodding. It's okay? I want you to understand the nature of wisdom. The nature of wisdom is that they want to understand more and more and more. Because profound here, okay? Profound here means that the depth, it gets deeper as you get to know, you realize it's deeper and deeper and deeper. That's profound. And wondrous is that as you get deeper, you what? Enjoy it more. It's so wonderful. It's so much fun. Okay? So the wondrous here is the sense of wonder that wells up inside of you. You feel wonderful, you feel good about it. Okay? And notice, they don't need to go to a restaurant. They don't need to listen to YouTube music. They don't need someone to whisper in their ears, "Oh, honey, you're so wonderful, I love you." You know? Never mind. DTT.
Master, right now you just spoke about wanting to understand the nature of dharmas, being the way. But at the same time, at our temple, the common complaint for people who want to understand why cross our legs, why do this, is that they're just reaching too much, that they're being intellectuals. That's what's accused of people who want to go too deeply. So how do we kind of...
Let me put it this way for you, sir. Let me answer your question with a question. May I do that, or you prefer me to do it the traditional way?
Any way you want.
Okay. My answer to you is a question. Are you a bodhisattva?
No.
When you're bodhisattva, you can ask why. He's still processing. Why do you say that? He said. Okay? Does it help? Okay? It's perfectly okay to ask why. Perfectly okay. I have no problems people asking why. Actually, I love when you people ask why, because it gives me a chance to BS with you. There's nothing more boring than I found in the past. I went to a lot of temples for an hour and a half, for 2 hours. The master kept on lecturing, and on and on. I remember going to this temple in Garden Grove, and for the first time, and the guy was so happy because he found a visiting monk who brought a few of his sanghas to come and listen to his Dharma. He's very, very happy. He was tickled pink. Okay, and so he went on and on about he's a Chan teacher. Taiwanese Chan teacher. So he went on about one Chan jargon to the next and on for an hour and a half. And I was getting real afflicted. And when you're afflicted, your legs hurt. Notice that? Now you know why your legs hurt. Your leg hurts because you're afflicted. Okay, so my legs are getting so painful because I was, what the hey? and so the whole time I was struggling with my pain because I'm vain. I didn't want people to know I was in pain. And so it's nothing worse to me than this is what typically happens at the temple. I noticed that. The master loved them. They kept on lecturing and talking and on and on and on. They throw jargon, after jargon at you, and people nod, and they don't understand anything. Okay? So for me, I prefer interaction because I prefer you ask me why. Okay? You ask me why because it tells me you're listening. Because I wasn't listening to him anymore. I basically was reciting and then fighting my own afflictions. Okay, so what am I doing? This is what I have to do. I have, to build a temple, you need to kiss up to, others, and so forth. I was not proud of myself. Actually, I was feeling very depressed. When you're on your own, you have to make friends with people you don't care for. Well, anyway, and so I like it when you ask questions. Okay. However, for some people, like, let's see, who really likes to ask a lot of questions? I forgot now. Okay, just throw our names. Shirley. Shirley, when you tell her you discuss something interesting, she says, why? And that why is very, very healthy, by the way. Healthy because from where she came from, the questions, the quality of the question distinguishes you from the others. Okay, and plus this lady is pretty smart. She says, I can use this in my work, in my daily life. So if someone asks me, how do I explain this? So it's pretty smart. However, sometimes I make fun of them. Actually, most of the time I make fun of her and say, there's too much thinking. Why is that? Because while asking question is a healthy and normal thing, okay, but the best answer I could give you is stop discriminating. Because if I explain to you, I tell you why, the reason for, if I answer your question, your why question, then you're going to ask me again next, why do you say that? You're going to ask why about my answer. And I explain to you, then you ask why again to my next answer. And then on and on and on. Okay? So I would answer you, okay? Or at times, I don't answer you, I say, stop asking why. Because the point here is to let you not engage your discriminating mind, your thinking mind so much. I will answer you up to a certain point when, as long as it's beneficial to you, or as long as I can establish that I'm an authority on that, you can rest assured I know what I'm talking about. Now, once it's done, then I try to avoid indulging you in your excessive thinking. Because we can go on and on. I can always come up with more answers for you, but you will constantly be asking why and why and why. Okay? And what I want you is learn to ask why, okay? Up to a certain point, then you say, let me contemplate that and find the answer myself. Because I'm capable of finding the answer myself. Because you are. That's why I often, after a while, I often said, initially, notice, when Chung first came, I answered a lot. I mean, for the first 6 months, so he challenged me, he said, I'm not sure I agree with you. I don't like this. This doesn't make sense to me. This seems illogical, okay? And I patiently answered him until, okay, like Tieng, for example, too. Now I look at the Workforce people. Tieng, too, used to ask a lot of questions. So I would patiently answer her, until one day I realized she's convinced I know more than she does. When we reached that point, I said, oh, shut up. Stop thinking. Just contemplate. Okay? And I threatened her next. Okay, and then some people ignored, I start beating them up. Did I answer your question, sir? No?
Master. Yes,
I did?
you did.
You did. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. All right. So the profound is that what I want to tell you, my personal experience, but profound because I found that as you get deeper, you get inside. You say, "Wow, this cave here is fascinating," and then you found out there's more discoveries. There's more and more and more, infinitely. That's why it's profound. Wonders is that the more you discover, the more you find it fun. It's a lot of fun. You don't need to go outside and drink and inhale and dance the night away. You can do meditation and you find that it's so wonderful. Okay? And according to Emitofuo here, for him, it's a lot more profound. He says, wonderful because the three virtues of the Dharma body, prajna and liberation, are inseparable. And that's his great wisdom. If you go into what I talked to you about, and how wonderful it is, you feel better and better. Actually, you understand. As you get deep into it, you realize it's about, you feel wonderful because of the three virtues of the Dharma body, prajna, and liberation. Okay, memorize these things. Don't ask me why, just memorize. The three virtues are Dharma body, prajna, and liberation. Okay, they are one and the same. They're not three, they're just one. It's fascinating. It's wonderful. And that's the ultimate meaning of wonderful, folks, that Master Sutra explained to us in such an eloquent and profound way. Of course, you understand, right? Me neither. I don't get it. But you just have to memorize it. Okay, someday you will. I think. I'm not there yet. Okay, next. They fully understood the past and future lives and thoughts of living beings.
善知众生往来所去及心所行。
It refers to 159. Refers to spiritual penetration in particular. For your reference, according to Master Sutra, this guy is incredible. Let me tell you, he drops hints and he drops insights, okay, into things that are so profound that to me presents a different slice of the Mahayana that my master did not provide me. Okay, so his is more like scholarly, more the other side of it. Okay, and he says that this refers to the fully understood the past and future lives, meaning that behind it is your heavenly eye and knowledge of past lives. So the spiritual skill, the spiritual penetration behind fully understanding the past and future lives is heavenly eye and knowledge of past lives. Isn't that interesting? So if in the future you really want to help, eventually you have to develop this heavenly eye and knowledge of past lives. That's what it means to me. Okay? Yes, one.
So, Master, understanding the past and future lives, I kind of correlate to the knowledge of past lives.
Very good.
I mean, but how the heavenly eyes, like you see it, is it, that's why? Or?
Okay. God, I hate it when you ask questions like this, which I don't have answers to. Anyone can help me out? It's true that knowledge of past lives refers to, I look at you, I remember look at one of my nieces and nephews, and I say, oh, in a prior life, you were a sparrow. because I saw a sparrow. Yeah, I was during my full ordination in Vietnam temple. I look at one of my nephews and nieces. Look, oh, you're a sparrow. You were a sparrow. You look like a sparrow. Okay? And so that's a knowledge of past lives. You see that, oh, in a prior life you are a dog. Or in a prior life you are a Korean king. Okay? That's why now you have an attitude. Usually you see it because, you see, why do you behave like that? You know? And it's unusual for a person to behave that way. So I said, you were a king, that's why now you act like an idiot. Okay? You may be a king in a prior life, but now you're not a king and you still behave like a king. Anyway, so that's knowledge past lives. The heavenly eye refers to, get to know the cause of why you were a sparrow and now you are human. You see the connection. Why? Okay? Probably because a sparrow, I don't know what would a sparrow need to do to become a human. Who knows? Yes, one.
Offered a seed to the Buddhas?
There you go. Oh, I like it. Oh, very clever. She says, instead of eating my lunch, I offer the worm to the Buddha. And Buddha, okay. Thank you, I think. Okay, got that? So that's why the two things. You see, this is what happens when we throw things at you and you ask why. And this is a good why. Okay? Not Jung's why last year. Jung's why last year is that I don't believe you. Prove to me. Okay? Or Jung's why is that my Vietnam master says the exact opposite. Why do you say this? Or my masters at the DRBA said the opposite of what you said. Okay? Why? Okay? Meaning you're wrong. The why there is you wrong, man. Okay? Does it help? Okay. And so they fully understood the causes of good and evil karmic conditions, leading to experiencing the results of pleasant and unpleasant karmic retributions. Okay, so they fully understand. They understand the causal conditions. If you are where you are today, because in a prior life you're a Korean king and you made offerings, a lot of offerings to Mahayana. That's how now you're able to cultivate Mahayana and get the fruitions. Okay, you made a lot of sacrifices to support Mahayana. Okay, when your noblemen and all your wives and concubines are against it, Beha! Is that what you said in Korean? Beha! Beha! I saw this in Korean movies. Beha! When you're Korean king and your official disagree with you, and you say you pronounce something, a Korean pronounce something, the official would say, Beha! And they would hit their heads on the floor. Beha! Yes, one.
It's exactly same how they show in Korean drama or movie. Exactly same.
You can tell I watch a lot of those Korean dramas. Beha. Yeah, I know. Too much emphasis. Is Korean is Beha, Beha. So weak, It's so weak. Beha, Beha. It's like, I'm so helpless, But no, this is American. Beha. Koreans don't find it amusing. We Americans, look at all the Koreans in JC and JMT. It's not Korean. Okay, and so how do we get to Beha? King, the king. Okay, those king. God save the king. 160, the thoughts of living beings. They fully understand and know very well the thoughts of living being. And this refers to the power of the Buddha's wisdom, 种智 here, 智力. So it's 种智 here is actually 种智. This refers to the Buddha's wisdom. This is where your knowledge of Chinese helps. Okay, it's not available in Espanol. Okay, you have to learn Chinese, and this is where you see this thing here. The reason I talked to you is I just looked it up yesterday. I said 种智, what does it mean? Because there are 3 different wisdoms. Okay, and when you see this 种智 here, you Chinese people who are who understand Chinese, the 种智 here refers to the Buddha's wisdom. Okay. So this is the power of the Buddha's wisdom. They understand the habitual patterns, action of previous lives. Just like different plants and trees are born from the same earth, we have different natures. Okay, and that's just a very eloquent Master Tutor. He has class. Not only was Master Tutor erudite, okay, has great wisdom, but he also is elegant and classy. I want you to appreciate it because this is what, depending on your level of wisdom, at the Master Tutor's level, he's not simply erudite, okay, but he's elegant. Compare that, if you will. Last night we studied Master Jing Liang, okay, and you see the style. Master Jing Liang, I said, I know so much. I need to tell you. This sutra here, and then there's the other sutra, and the other sutra, and the other sutra, and they all said the same thing. They all eat chantikas. You have insufficient faith, and I rest my case. I read them all. Whereas Master Juja is like so much more eloquent, much more elegant. So different styles, if you will. Huh? Which one do you want? I'm just curious. This one? Me too. Okay? And the thoughts of living beings, he refers to 心所行 here is how the mind functions, and they translate into thoughts of living beings. No, actually more precisely, 心所行 is that how the mind works. And by the way, how do you know how the mind works? And this is I'm going to ignore the medicine thing here. Huh? How do you understand how the mind works? Yes, one. And if any one of you gets it right, I give you $100. That's how confident I am today. I'm taking a chance.
I don't think I have an answer.
Yeah. If you say, I want to stimulate the conversation.
Well, if how does the mind work?
How do you get to know the minds of how living beings' mind function? $100 at stake here. Look at her. She said, she's measuring her words.
Is it from desire? There has to be a desire for the mind to work. Something
Next.
provokes them.
Okay, see, very good, 7. See, this is, it only works here in the U.S. In Korea, when I say $100, say, what's $100? Let me see, $100? Oh, they have to think. How many wands is that? Yes, 7.
Thank you, Master. It's like the bodhisattvas, they go through, for example, they experience the sufferings, so they know how to help us in the future when we experience that suffering. So in this, I think they go through those mental states, so in the future, they can know how to solve that.
Not bad, but not 100%. Yes, DTT. Oh, no, sorry. There's a person here, Patricia, who's going for a $100 bill.
Emitofuo, Master. Understanding our own minds first.
Not bad. This is original. Very good. DTT. You guys are good. Your answers are all good. Yeah.
To see our mind unfold as it's happening. Whatever arises, we see it clearly.
Yeah, it's not bad. Anyone else? Catholic, you want to shoot for $100? No? You don't need $100? Okay. Oh, my, refusing Buddhist money. Anyone else? DTT. Korea, I also can send $100 over to Korea. Oh, look at Master Ji, he looks so young now. What happened? What is it with people? You all look younger, I look older. Go ahead, Master Ji.
Master, I think we don't react to the mind, don't react to thoughts, so that we see how the thought arises and go away, so we know how it works.
Very good. Okay, next. I know, none of you gets it. That's why I'm so confident. I'm cheap, I don't bet until I think I can win, except recently I lost. Huh? Anyone else? JMT, you want to win $100 today? No one? Okay. I feel good. Anyone? JC, answer.
예, 마스터. 그 대보살들은 그 동체 대비로 큰 대자비심으로 그 중생들과 한 몸뚱이라고 그 느끼고 있기 때문에 중생들의 그 마인드가 어떻게 이게 펑션하는지를 이렇게 아실 수 있을 거라고 생각이 됩니다.
And this Vietnam is called rung đùi. You know what I mean? What's rung đùi? Hong, explain what's rung đùi. You're the Vietnam expert. Rung đùi. The master is rung đùi. Yeah, explain Hong. Okay, Chung, explain. What does it mean master is rung đùi? Chung is in DTT. We give DTT a chance first.
We don't know.
What?
Shake the leg.
So boring. This guy, yes, one.
I have some comments here from YouTube. Dintai says, we can understand by reading sutra, and we can only know by direct experience.
Not bad. You all are good answers.
And,
That's not what I'm looking for. It's no cigar here.
Chun says, because they are one with the living beings, so they know their minds.
Not bad. That's original. Very good. But you're not one with living beings. Baloney. Okay? Okay, let's go to JC and give JC a chance. I know they don't need my $100 bills. Come on, JC. Distinguish yourself. Gwang-ho, go ahead.
대보살들께서는 이제 동체 대비로 큰 대자비심으로 중생들과 이 한몸뚱이로 이렇게 지니고 계시기 때문에 중생들이 어떻게 사고하는지 그 과정을 아실 수 있을 거라고 생각이 됩니다.
XW Sunim.
Mahasattva has a great compassion, so they and living beings is one body, so they know how the living being function.
Very good. Okay, I like it. Anyone else? One.
Also from YouTube, from Daniel Beers, Beers, many living
I
beings.
like that. Beers. Yeah.
Beers, not just one. Many living beings, but mind not separable. Therefore, understanding is possible.
Not bad. Go Forrest. Go ahead, go Forrest. Explain to us, first of all, before you give the answer, what does it mean, Master Rung Dui?
Enjoy.
Enjoy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Master enjoy too much. Okay, what's your answer?
Dạ, thì con nghĩ là mấy vị Bodhisattva muốn học làm lại chúng sanh, muốn học làm human being again để mà hiểu chúng sanh.
Did you get that?
Master, she said that I think that Bodhisattva, in order to learn how to be a living being, they first have to become living beings in order to learn how living being works.
Is that what you said in Vietnam? Okay, so this lady here, the last few times, she asked me something, I understood exactly the opposite. That's why. So now I have to verify before I make a fool out of myself. Okay, not bad, not bad. Anyone else? I know you wouldn't know. JC. I know it. It's too profound. That's why. Yes, JC.
중생들의 언행을 보고 그 마음이 작동하는 것을 알 수 있을 것 같습니다.
They watch the speech and action of living being, so they understand how they work.
Not bad, not bad. All very good answers. You know a lot. See, this is why I haven't explained to you this yet. You want to give up? You want to give up first. Admit that you don't know and you give up. Say it. You don't know. Oh, these women, they're so fast. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. It's lack of sincerity and faith. Okay. This is professional secret. my question is predicated upon you or us. We're not talking about, we're not Mahasattvas. So whatever they do is what they do. But for us, how do we get to their level is my interest, right? I mean, I'm glad you're rich. I'm glad you're famous. I love you, Taylor Swift. Okay. What's her name? Sydney? You don't know Sydney? Oh my God. Anyone know Sydney? Daniel. You don't know Sydney? It's only one Sydney. What are you talking about? Sydney who? Type in Sydney and see what does Google give you. Sydney, what's the first hit? There you go. She's not well known? She's very well known to me. What are you talking about? Okay, we're just joking too much. Okay, so what happened? See, even now Jesse agrees. He said, yeah. Now everyone is not paying attention to me anymore. Like, oh yeah. They're all going, you see, even the Koreans are ignoring me. They're even showing Master XC who Sydney is. Oh, you guys are so bad. Anyway, my interest, my intention is that we're not Mahasattvas. So what are the secrets that will help us understand how the mind of living beings function? Okay? Living beings meaning everyone. So how does it work? In Buddhism, there's a source of information for that. You know that? That is called Vinaya. Vinaya. You study Vinaya, you understand how living beings think, operate. And so this is completely lost in Buddhism. Nowadays, when people study the 3 studies, sutras, teachings, what else? The sutras, shastras, and Vinaya, something like that. Okay, they only thought of it. They only think of it as they're more focused on sutras and shastras because people are more interested in talking about that, and that's why nowadays, okay, in Buddhism, very few people study the Vinaya anymore, and it's only because they don't realize that in the Vinaya, the Buddha spells out how our minds function. It's fascinating, let me tell you. Even if you don't understand it at first, eventually, when you get to high level, you say, oh, that's why the Buddha do not allow us to prohibit us from drinking, prohibit us from getting money, combining two donors' money to buy a nicer sash, or combine donors' money to buy, instead of 2 cars, a red car. And it's fascinating because the Buddha spells out how our mind functions and where And why it can so easily go astray? So I'm telling you that because I'm hoping one day some of you might be intrigued and say, I want to go study this because my YongHua doesn't know anything about how the mind works. You go and study Vinaya and you come back and you contemplate and you say, one day you say, that's why, oh, that's why, oh, that's why. Because that's how our mind functions. You understand? That's why I don't care whatever you do. Ultimately, finally, he says, can you send me money? It boils down to that eventually. Bottom line. Okay? All that leads to money. Okay, anyway. Yes, ma'am.
Master, and what is the proper way or ways to study Vinaya?
Proper way? You basically should become a left-form person, and we send you to somewhere, like in Taiwan, to learn about Vinaya. Okay? And you have to learn Chinese. The only place right now in the world where you can still learn the Vinaya, how it's practiced the traditional way, is in Taiwan, maybe possibly in Taiwan. Yes, one.
Master, and also in our cultivation with you, we are like kind of doing that, right? Like practicing Vinaya and studying it?
We're practicing a subset of Vinaya. You're practicing enough to bring you to the end goal, enlightenment. Okay, so it's a subset, it's an expedient that Master YongHua used for us, for my generation, and from me to you, I added a few more things to help speed it up for you. Okay, but Master YongHua took all the Vinaya and he says, you guys don't have time, okay? We're too busy, so let me give you a subset of Vinaya that you observe this, you get to Nirvana, shall we say, okay? And that's fine. And I took a look at that, and I said, wow, it works so well, okay? But it has some limitations of how far you can go. So I even added a few more things, okay? I did some modifications so that you can get even higher, if you will. But still, it's an expedient that frees you from having to study Vinaya as a whole, because no one has the time to study it anymore. But I want to remind you that Vinaya contains so much fascinating information that when you get the high levels, you begin to appreciate why the Vinaya is such a treasure in Buddhism. And unless we in the West go back to the source and bring Vinaya from Taiwan to the US, we're not complete. Our Mahayana is not complete. It's still an expedient. So that's why in my generation, I don't have time to do that. We have to build up things from scratch. You just don't have time, like Master YongHua. No support, not enough time, okay? But your generation, I'm hoping I can make provisions for you not to worry about money and just cultivate and do your things that pursue your interests instead of like the many constraints Master YongHua and I have to go through. And that way I'm talking about an endowment for you so that even like you have money every month to cover all your expenses. Okay, interest you earn, dividends you earn, so forth, eventually down the road. Okay, I think big, but I talk big, but let's see how far I can go. That's the bottom line. But eventually, when you have that, you're free from that. Those daily worries about how I'm going to pay my rent, how I'm going to pay for my car, my mortgage. Okay, hopefully you don't have to worry about all those things. Okay, and then you're free to pursue and provide more depth to Mahayana for the future generation. Okay, and there would be a branch of you that might be interested in building temples, but my interest personally would be to bring all up the Tripitaka to the West and translate it into English. That's a real treasure. Okay? Hopefully that will happen in the future. And that's how we will preserve the Buddhist treasures for the world, for your children, for the future generation. You can do that. Your gift to the world is priceless and will help the entire world, not just America, not just Korea, not just Vietnam, not just Mexico. Okay? It's for the entire world. All right. We stop here today. Thank you, everyone.